Assalamu alaikum. In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. I want to thank you all for braving the heat, for braving the despair, for continuing to show up for an entire year. I know some of you have been out in these streets week by week, sometimes multiple times a week, for an entire year. And while we all know that we will never be able to equal the price that has been paid by our people back home, it's still important to show gratitude to all of you who have been consistent, to especially the students that have been on the front lines, to especially the UTD 21, to all of the organizations. We appreciate you. Now there's something strange about this particular anniversary. And there's something strange that we have in this country about memorializing tragedy in the first place. I was once having a conversation with a person who was telling me that their hope was that one day in Israel, and this was supposed to be a kind comment, in Israel that their children would read in their textbooks about the Nakba. And I responded and I said, I'd much rather that our children would be reading about the story of liberation in their Palestinian textbooks back in their own schools. Tragedy is often memorialized after the fact. They wish to extinguish us, to make sure that we no longer pose a threat to their colonial project, and then perhaps they'll throw us a bone and talk about the crimes that were committed against the indigenous people. We see it done here in the United States all the time. We see it done in Canada. After the fact, let's build a statue, so long as we can continue to assault your bodies. Let's put a street sign up so long as we've stolen your street. Let's mention the tragedy after it's been committed and after there's no chance of that trauma resurfacing and transforming the present or the future. And as Palestinians, we wish to remind all of our enemies and all of those that stand with our enemies that we still have the keys to our homes from 1948, and we don't intend on relinquishing our claims. I was sitting with my father last week, last Saturday. My father witnessed 1948. He witnessed 1967. And I asked him how he was doing. And admittedly, he was down, like many of us are, when we see the brutality committed against our people in Palestine and Lebanon and beyond. And he responded and he said, 1948, 1967, 2024. 1948, 1967, 2024. And it dawned upon me, hearing that from him, someone who was alive in 1948 and 1967, how consequential the moment that we are in right now actually is. We don't have time to memorialize the martyrs and the children of yesterday because it's an ongoing genocide. We don't have time to talk about the crimes of the past because we're still tuned into the crimes of the present. Last year, in our first protest, in our first demonstration, as the genocide began, as I was getting down from the stage, I got the news of the beheading of Wadir al-Fayoumi, a 6-year-old child in Illinois. Literally, the very first protest. And so we're not talking about the past as if it is distant. We're talking about the present so that we can continue to show these Zionist liars that we will not back down to their PR machine or to their war machine or to anything else, that we are not afraid of their that they can try to stigmatize us and make saying Palestine illegal. But know that the memorial that we will have will be one of commemorating liberation, inshallah. That our children will go to the Walid Dahdur School of Journalism. That they will go to the Hind Rajab School of Humanities. And that history will write that Palestine did not just free itself, but it freed everything and everyone around it and beyond, inshallah. God, write us down amongst the liberators. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you all.